My name is Philip Harris.
Justin Wright.
It's Eric Cooley.
Greg Sturgeon.
Eli Cunningham.
Colton Carr.
I'm Kurt Cab. I work here at the motor shop at Vaughn Electric. I've worked here for almost 10 years now, and I'm the shop manager. We perform electric motor repairs and sales. My day-to-day roles include coordinating with customers and supervising the employees here in the motor shop. So here in the motor shop, we serve primarily commercial and industrial customers. Commercial and customers may include your HVAC, refrigeration, and industrial customers cover a wide array of different industries, from fabrication, manufacturing, to the agricultural side of it, elevators, grain elevators, mills, paper mills, rendering. Basically, if you eat it, drink it, sleep on it, wear it, drive it, an electric motor has something to do with the process to make that happen.
My name's Eric Cooley. I'm the construction manager at Vaughn Electric. Been here for almost 16 years. My job duties include lining everybody out each morning on where we're going, project managing, which involves estimating. We have prints to take off of. We use the estimating program to get the values and the cost of the materials and labor. And we also take and do design build, which we design on AutoCAD, and then also using calculations from the NEC code book to make sure we stay within the guidelines. I get material from the vendors, get quotes from the vendors, make sure that we have a good stock of material every day so we're not without material when we're heading out for jobs. Try to schedule lead times for materials so we can get jobs completed on time.
I am Greg Sturgeon with Vaughn Electric, Vice President of Automation. I guess here at Vaughn Electric we are service providers and solutions integrators. In the automation department, there's kind of two sections of it. We've got service work, which we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Customers call with electrical problems, and we go to the sites and figure out what the issue is and resolve it for them. On the other side of that, we've got an automation department. It takes care of integrating automated controls to machineries, to plants, to SCADA systems. We're recording gallons per minute flows and trending graphs, showing it on computers. We're monitoring devices in the field and making decisions for the other equipment to run or not, or slow down or pause or do whatever the customer needs. We basically provide the customers with a hardware employee. We're gathering information from the owners and the users of the equipment, and we're translating what they're telling us they want the equipment or plant to do, and we're translating that into a language into the PLC, so from then on it is an employee that doesn't call in sick.
My name is Eli Cunningham. I'm a high school co-op here at Vaughn Electric. Started back in August whenever school started back, and I've been trying to learn the ropes with electrical engineering and working on motors and different panels and breakers, things like that. I've been able to learn a lot about workplace environments and kind of get an idea of where I want my future to go, help me choose my major and what path I want to go through. Do I want to sit in the office? Do I want to work outside? Things like that. I've been able to definitely realize that my personal preference is outside, and I like to work with as many people as possible, whether that's people that work at sites I'm working at or the people that work in Vaughn Electric that I get to go out on calls with. It's been a great social opportunity as well. I've made plenty of friends here, and I've been able to definitely learn a lot about interacting with different people and new people. It's definitely helped me with that. I would recommend it to anybody that's interested in going into engineering, electrical, mechanical, anything, to try to get as many opportunities, and this is a great one to have. They've given me the opportunity of working while I'm going through college, and they've given me opportunities of if I want to continue working after high school and not go to college, I can do that too, but they've given me plenty of opportunities to continue my education in a classroom and outside of the classroom.
My name is Colton Carr, and I'm an electromechanical service technician here at Vaughn Electric. I've been here about 2.5 years. With my job, I am I'm one of the electromechanical service technicians here at Vaughn Electric. Another thing I do is outreach. I'm also an outside salesman for our motor shop. So some of the services we provide on our electromechanical service team would be laser alignments, infrared thermography, on-site field balancing, vibration analysis, and motor insulation testing. On laser alignments, what that is we have a dual lasered system, and what you do is it's to align two shafts to each other. So just breaking it down, if I go into a plant and there's a motor, I'd put a laser on that shaft. If it's going to a pump, I'd put a laser on that shaft. And what you're doing is you're precisely aligning it, making sure that it's going to run properly. Infrared thermography, that is where we go around and we check for hot spots. So we have an infrared camera, and that's what it does. It checks for heat. We do this for many different facilities, electrical co-ops. But what we're doing, like I said, is we're looking for hot spots, and that can include loose connections, overloads, and faulty equipment, multiple different things. We also do on-site field balancing. What that is we go and we balance fans, making sure that they're going to run properly and they're not going to have a lot of vibration. So with vibration analysis, we have a machine that's able to detect unwanted frequencies in a machine. So any sort of rotating equipment, we can go and check. And what we use is, it's basically a magnet. It's called a transducer. You would put that on pretty much both sides of the equipment that's running. And you're able to pick up any sort of, like I said, unwanted frequencies, any sort of vibration that's not supposed to be there. And it's a preventative maintenance that helps determine an issue before it's too late. Another thing we do is motor insulation testing. What that is we go straight to the motor itself, and we're able to determine if the windings inside the motor are still intact and there's no damage inside. So customer service is definitely a big part of our company here. We make that a priority, and I really feel like that's why customers use us, and we take care of their needs 24/7.
My name's Justin Wright. I've worked for Consolidated Crane for 6 years, and it's been a great place to work. Day to day is different every day. That's what I enjoy a lot about the job. I come in on a Monday and do inspections on cranes for 3 days in a row, and then the rest of the week we're doing maintenance on cranes. And then the next week it'll be maintenance all week. Next week might be inspections all week. It's different locations, different scenery every day, never the same. Keeps your mind sharp, and I enjoy it. Don't want to stand in one spot in a factory, and so this has been a great job for me. I would say to be a good crane technician, you can't be afraid of heights. All cranes are high in the ceiling in these factories, most anyway. You need to be a quick learner, good with tools, good with your hands because you can't drop tools. A lot of people down below you. The cranes are getting drive oriented now, going from contactor style to drive, so it's smart to learn some drive stuff, variable frequency drives. There's still a lot of old contactor style stuff out there, and resistor banks. So the electrical side of them can be slightly complicated, somewhat kind of automated at times. And we do work on some fully automatic articulating cranes that you program on a location and it goes and picks something up. And, those are cool. But overall, the cranes we work on here at Consolidated Crane are anywhere from 500 pounds to 70 tons.
50 years ago, I guess it was, I was at the unemployment office looking for a job. They sent me to Vaughn Electric Company. Mr. Charlie Vaughn interviewed me, and I don't remember anything about the interview, but evidently I must have done a fair job, or he wouldn't have hired me, or he needed help real bad, one of the two, and I'm not for sure which it was. Probably the latter, I would think. When I started working here, I think there was like 12 or 15 employees, and there was the motor shop, and that consisted of the motor shop. We had a supply house, Reelfoot Supply Company then, and a construction crew. There was 3 people, including me, on the construction crew. Lester Williams, I'm gonna guess Lester was like 60 years old. At the time, I'm in 21, so Lester looked like he was 100 to me. But anyway, Lester hired me as his helper. I didn't know anything about electricity, and as the girls in the office can tell you, I probably couldn't even spell electricity at the time because I'm the world's worst speller, but We've managed through 50 years with the girls in the office to help me so that most emails and letters that I send out don't look completely out of line. So Miss Dickens, my 9th grade English teacher, would have thought she did some good, but honestly I probably was daydreaming most of the time I was in her class. I would advise all of y'all in the 9th and the 10th and the 12th grade not to be daydreaming like I was when I was in school. Because the English and the math, I didn't think was important, because all I wanted to do when I got out of school was go get a job and make some money, buy me a car, take my girl to the drive-in, have fun. But it takes money to do that, and you got to have a trade in the world today if you're going to make any money. There's lots of trades. You could be a doctor, an engineer. They are trades, and you got to have a formal education for that type of trade. The trades we do here at Vaughn Electric Company is electrical, and you can go to schooling, like trade school, and learn a lot that will help you advance a lot quicker. You'd be welders, lots of trades out there that people could make 6 figures salary with if they just want to work hard and apply themselves. So I'd encourage all of you to pick up a trade. If that's a trade, being a doctor or an engineer through formal education, that's exactly what I'd do if your heart's in it. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't work anywhere that I didn't enjoy getting up and going to work. Like I said earlier, I've worked at Vaughn Electric Company for 50 years. I have never got up and said, I hate to go to work this morning. I've got up a lot of mornings and said, boy, I wished I could go fishing this morning. I wished I could go hunting this morning. But I never got up and said, I hate to go to Vaughn Electric Company and go to work. But a trade is something you can take with you anywhere. I encourage all the guys to work up here to go ahead and get their electrical license. We had a couple guys here in the last couple years that's got their license in Kentucky. And as I told one of them, and I won't mention his name, but as I told him one time, I hope you stay at Vaughn Electric for 50 years like I do, but once you get your license, you can get a job anywhere. If you got good work ethic, you can get a job anywhere once you learn a trade. You don't have to work at Vaughn Electric Company. I hope you stay here forever, but if you want to go somewhere else, you can go to any state, anywhere, and get you a good paying job. Things has changed a lot in the last 50 years at Vaughn Electric Company. Like I said, when I started here, there was like 3 employees on the construction crew. I think that I just heard Jane say a while ago we have 32 employees. And so obviously we've grown a lot. But times have changed a lot. When I come here, we didn't have electric benders. We didn't have trenchers. We didn't have backhoes. I was the backhoe with a shovel in my hand. And everybody that started out at Vaughn Electric dug ditches. And once you become an electrician, you could have your helper dig the ditch, but somebody had to dig it by hand back then. All the threading was done by hand. So there's a lot more manual labor involved in it than there is today. Luckily for me, I had an opportunity to come in the office after about 10 years of working in the field. I really enjoyed working in the office, but it was different from anything I had ever really thought it would be, but I enjoyed it. When I started work, my desk had a rotary phone on it and a adding machine, and that was it. I can remember when the fax machines come out and we got our first fax, I thought, boy, technology is really, really here to stay. I never seen nothing like it, and now you can do more with your iPhone than we could with our computers back in those days. As my time at Vaughn Electric sort of grew, I decided it was best to train people for the future of Vaughn Electric Company rather than trying to train myself to do some of the technical skills we had. And the biggest reason for that was Greg Sturgeon. I heard Greg as an estimator, and myself and an engineer was trying to solve, an electrical engineer, by the way, was trying to solve a problem, and Greg was listening to us on the phone. And when I got off the phone, Greg says, "I can solve that problem for you if you want me to." Well, I actually didn't think Greg knew what the problem was, less known the answer to the problem, but he proved me wrong, and he solved that problem, and I decided after that I needed to be using Greg solving technical problems and not doing estimating. So gradually, Greg started doing the more technical things and doing all our schematics and drawings. And then we actually opened up the automation department here probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And it has really grown, and that's all due to the ability that Greg's had. So you can always make opportunities yourself for any company you're working with, whether it's Vaughn Electric or some plumbing company or a mechanical company. You can make your own opportunities if you'll apply yourself and try. I guess one thing I'd like to say time is something that we can't speed up and we can't slow it down. Time just goes by. It's what you do with your time which is going to be important in your life. Are you going to apply yourself and achieve something for you and your family by learning a trade? Whether that's a trade through a formal college or a trade through a trade school or a trade that you learn on the job at Vaughn Electric Company or some other place. Now that trade can be, like I said, through a formal education, and I certainly wouldn't discourage anybody from getting a formal education if you're picking a good trade. But just a formal education to say I had a degree, I wouldn't recommend that. I would try to pick something that I enjoy doing. And if being an electrical engineer, being a doctor, a school teacher, if that's what you enjoy doing, I would go to a formal college and be the best at it I could. But if you enjoy working with your hands, like a lot of people do, then I'd recommend a trade like being an electrical or a welder or something in that line. A short story I'll tell you, Kurt Cab, probably like 15 years ago, come to me and applied for a job, and I did not need to hire anybody at that time. We did not need any help. But the more I talked to Kurt, he told me he liked to work with his hands. Well, that sounded good. And then he told me he got an academic scholarship to a college, but he wanted a job where he could work with his hands. And I decided that had to be a winning combination. Somebody that's smart enough to get an academic scholarship and wants to work with his hands, he needs to be at Vaughn Electric Company, because I believe he'll help us succeed at Vaughn Electric Company. Because when I started here, we had 2 little old buildings, a little office building up there and a supply building and a motor shop in one building. But over the years, through what Mr. Vaughn has done, when Mr. Vaughn passed the company along to his son, Steve grew the company, and then I want to think it's been maybe 10 or 12 years ago. I'm not for sure about the time, but several years ago, Steve sold the company to his son-in-law, Mike Rinker. And Mike has really focused this company on growing, and the only way a company succeeds and stays in business is by growing. You can't stay the same size and be a success. And Mike has pushed hard to make Vaughn Electric Company through buying sister companies and by giving opportunities to people here at Vaughn Electric Company to help this company grow. And Mike and I was talking a couple weeks ago. We just built a new office here in between our construction building and our motor shop, and this place looks so much different than it did 50 years ago when I came here, or even, I want to say, probably 20 years ago when Mr. Vaughn passed away. And I told Mike I would give anything if Mr. Vaughn could just walk through this place for 5 minutes to see what Vaughn Electric has grew into from the hard work that he put into this company, starting, and I think it was incorporated in 1949. I think he actually started the company in 1947 or something like that. The one wish that I have besides that is I want Vaughn Electric to be successful 20, 30 years from now. I'm not going to be here. If we put the right people in the right places, like Mr. Vaughn put the right people in the right places, 50 years from now, Vaughn Electric will still be prosperous and be a good place for a lot of people to make a good living at and build lots of lasting friendships.
As much as you can learn now, even in a part-time setting, will benefit you down the road. Don't just take any old job that can put some money in your account so you can buy your next iPhone. You know, you want to make sure that what you're doing now will benefit you down the road and pave your road so that it's smoother. You know, you don't want to be riding on the coattail of somebody else. You know, set your own stage and live your own life.
Some advice I wish I would have known when I was y'all's age is I'm not down in college, but don't look at that as your only option. There are plenty of other options out there, and you can definitely have a successful career in many other paths, whether it be trade school, beauty school. There's multiple different things you can do. So don't think that that's your only option.
If I ever get in a slump, I think, well, I could be putting a roof on in the summertime, or spreading asphalt in the hot summertime. I mean, it's a great job. I get to meet cool people and go in all kind of factories and see how cars are made, see how engines are made, see how transformers at Armco are made. It's a very interesting job just to see the industrial side of America and how things are made. And we help make those things by keeping the cranes up and going, because cranes pick up the heavy things that America makes.
My advice is to act like a sponge. Take advantage of the resources that are available to you. It really pays to be a well-rounded individual in the workforce today. Keep in mind that your brain will last longer than your back when it comes to hard work.
I got this opportunity by taking initiative. I went through my school, but I called up to Vaughn Electric and asked if they would be interested in any kind of high school co-op. They said they would be, so I came and interviewed with the supervisor, and the next week I started working up here at Vaughn Electric.